It's interesting that the Nigerian military has also, released pictures of, them invading Sambisa forest, checking out hideouts, and they've, dismantled quite a number of camps on the ground in Sambisa forest. But then you also, just recently, a couple of days back, Boko Haram was said to have allegedly done Eid prayers also in the same Sambisa forest. What, do we make of those kinds of attempts and the attempt to, is it use propaganda as well?
Well, I look at that, I saw that footage and I just smiled inwardly. If they can slaughter rams and eat and do Eid every day, it's okay. Okay, it's okay.
On Nigerian territory?
Just leave bombs, leave killing of people. Protest whatever you want to do by eating rams and praying to God for change. It's okay.
But what about the impression that people have? How can somebody who's...
Can I tell you that the war on terror has now become an ideological war of the mind. Don't take those information you got as being sacrosanct. It may not be true that Boko Haram celebrated Eid in Sambisa forest. That is the information they want people to have. You understand? Psychological warfare.
They didn't just write it. Yes. If they had just written it, that would have been, people can easily dismiss it. Yes. But when they deliberately put a video online and people watch it.
A video can be showed at the back of this channel's building and made to believe that it took place in Sambisa forest. That's the point I'm making.
Very true, sir.
You understand? And again, what is the size of Sambisa forest? It's huge. You can't deploy troops to cover every inch of the ground in Sambisa forest. And of course, it could just be a simultaneous something and then they dispersed. Just to convince the populace that, look, they've not been degraded.
The media has a role to play here.
Yes, but let me put it this way, so we can just clear any doubts, because we tend to get speculative and sentimental about, permit me to say, nonsense. Boko Haram decide from posing with weapons and machine guns and making threats. They decide to release video where they were preparing meat and praying. I mean, that's irrelevant to my cause. As a service chief, I will discount it. If you like, go slaughter your cows anywhere on Nigerian soil. You have a right to eat cow. You have a right to pray to God. I don't see how you threaten my national
That is if it's God you're truly praying to.
Whatever you call your God, people have God in quotes, okay? If you don't do it in any way that threatens my people, you don't do it in any way that threatens my country, I think we're in tandem. You don't host, if they had hosted their flag, even draped the cow with the black flag and done that, for me, it's just a very feeble attempt to actually get attention which they don't deserve. We must take that oxygen of publicity out of them.
That's why I wanted Captain Umar, that was why I wanted to bring in the media angle. Okay. Sometimes it would seem as if the media fuel the powers
of Boko Haram. The papers want to say.
Sometimes, should we also be thinking of having a blacklist on activities of such when they come up with such videos or
no,
action?
Not really. I think
really.
What the security agencies should be doing is we should be seeing a situation, I look forward to it in this country, where we can have our media houses have desks in our intelligence and security agencies. You can call them some kind of liaison. They need to be inducted. They need to be actually helped with the ability to see it through the eyes of the security and the intelligence community. For me, national security has always been a passion, and the media is key to that. Let me tell you why I said so. The media itself is actually neutral. It's like electricity. You can use electricity to do good things and bad things. So the media is really very neutral. But what you need to do is to be able to give them a certain degree of know-how, so that when they see these things, they should be able to say, oh, this is A1, no, this is A3. These are what I call intelligence information classifications. But if they don't really know, then they're going to do what they do, and you are going to actually see from your own perspective a different thing. So basically, looking at that footage, what I'm trying to tell you is this. The Boko Haram doesn't have a character of, if you know what it takes to do those footages, it's expensive.
You know why I'm asking this? Because even we also have a history. You recall in the 80s, early 80s, where they have a voice restriction ban on the IRA in the UK. You know, it actually worked. You see a talking head, no voice comes out. So we're looking to see that since Boko Haram knows, or they know that sometimes some of this will get into the media and instill fear into the minds of some people, if not everyone, then they go about doing more and more of that. But if they know that whatever they're churning out or whatever video they have in the archives is never going to have any kind of attention, then they'll have a rethink.
Yes, talking about the UK, that's very true. I recall Margaret Thatcher, of blessed memory, said it, she put it aptly, that we are going to deny them that oxygen.
And the BBC went ahead to do all that.
That's where we take cues from what our leaders do as chieftains. The leader doesn't have to break it into nitty-gritty. For example, if you listen to the president's speech this morning, he said, and I quote, "I have instructed security and local authorities to tighten vigilance in vulnerable places." It's one sentence, but a very tall order. So chieftains who know what they are doing should actually be writing and very busy right now. Okay, not wait for
General, though, I want you to take on this because Captain already mentioned it, but the DHQ did release that information that people need to be vigilant, and they talked about you know, how Boko Haram was poisoning water sources. They knew this because cattle had drank from it and had died. Did we see that coming?
Well, what is happening now is what I would liken to dying declaration. When somebody is about to die, he looks for what he can hold on to. And I think we are beginning to see the desperation on the part of Boko Haram, knowing that they cannot cope with, the power of the security agencies, including those of the Lake Chad Basin troops coming together. And I think Boko Haram is now feeling the heat, just like he said, that the oxygen is being taken out of them. So it's out of desperation, just trying to see what they can do to remain relevant in the war
Let me let you speak to this other angle too, because if you say a dying declaration, could it mean that dying declaration to move from one phase to the other? Now we're talking about poisoning water. What about Chief Olufalaye's comments that Fulani herdsmen, even though Mieti Allah says no, our herdsmen don't bandy weapons, the ones that are carrying or bearing AK-47, kidnapping people, are working to support Boko Haram? Isn't this something we should also look at? Because look, if that declaration would mean, well, okay, we'll leave this phase, move to the other, are we also keeping tabs with those?
You know, apart from kidnapping, which is predominant in the southern part of Nigeria, you also have cattle rustling in northern part of Nigeria, wherein people go about stealing cows and what have you. And you cannot, kidnapping is a serious problem, but I have not been able to see the linkage of kidnapping with Boko Haram. And what is unfortunate, what happened to
the ransom money, because some people are pointing to the ransom money. What does a kidnapped group, or what would a group of herdsmen want to do with 100 million naira they're asking for ransom, for instance?
Exactly. That is to also tell you that there may be no relationship between the Fulani herdsmen and the kidnappers. Meaning that until when those allegations are proven, you cannot really say that those people that kidnapped Chief Olufalaye were Fulani herdsmen.
Just one.
That is my take.